What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode here of Bass and Furious TV. Today's video, back again, we're talking about co-anglers and some tips and tricks for the co-anglers. So what I wanted to do is give you my 4 rods that every co-angler should have when they go to a tournament. You probably could narrow it down to 3 if you wanted to, if you're that comfortable, but I say 4, and I'll tell you why I say 4. But I wanted to give you my 4 rods that I recommend as a co-angler when you're fishing a tournament, whether it be like a BFL, a bass fishing tournament, or a Bassmaster Open tournament, or even if you're just fishing a club tournament, it's a draw format, and you just got to get put in the boat with a random person. I'm going to give you 4 rods that I recommend that you got to have on deck. I'll go into as specific as I can, but a lot of it's going to depend on what you want to throw, your actions and things like that. But I'm going to give you 4 that you got to bring. And also I'm going to give you one tip that I kind of started working on with one of my buddies last year, kind of just talking to him about it, because I was trying to work my way through it as well as a viable option when you actually tournament fish. So I want to give you guys that one little tip. So make sure you stay tuned towards the end, because I'll give you guys that tip on the one little tip I got. Some of you may already do it. Who cares? I'm just going to share it with you. Hopefully it might help somebody. But again, we're talking about our 4 rods. I do want to say, obviously, you know the 4 rods. For me, you know where they're going to be. You use what you like. I'm just going to tell you what it's going to be from here. You guys see what it is. Let's go. All right, so before I get into all that, I want to just talk to you real quick about, other than my gear you saw, what I got on right now. Ozarks Outfitters. I mentioned them in my last video. Ozarks Outfitters. Awesome gear. This is a nice little jacket. I'll show you guys the back of it. They got more designs, more things they're working on. So more designs, more things they're working on. So check out the website. Make sure you stay tuned. And I got this awesome beanie. Guys, it's getting cold out here, man. Got to protect your ears. I wasn't feeling too good myself about 2 weeks ago, guys, and a lot of it stemmed from my ears, man. So you definitely want to protect your ears. Get that beanie on. Get to keep yourself nice and warm if you're gonna be fishing for a while. Or if you're just going outside, honestly, because this weather changes may be throwing everybody off. But we're outside today. We're gonna do a little video for y'all. Here we go. Ozarks Outfitters. Also, too, I already did a video on this. You guys saw it. But Mystery Tackle Box. I'll leave the link below. Hop on there, save some money in your first box on Mystery Tackle Box. All right, now that we got that out the way, let's get into it. So 4 rods. I'm gonna start with one that every co-angler has to have, and I'll throw in a couple of baits with it too. First one though, every co-angler has to have. Gotta have a spinning pole. Okay, got to have a spinning rod. And on this one, I actually got nothing on it, which I'm really surprised by, but that's actually amazing, because I'm not sure what I want to throw. So on this one, you gotta have a spinning rod. This one I have the new reel from 13 Fishing. It's a Kalen Blackout, also paired with the Fate V3 series rod. This is a 7-1 medium action spinning rod, paired up. I have like a 1000 series reel. I love to have this combo like super duper light. That's what I just love. I love that super light. When you're casting long days, long hours, weird stuff, you gotta just want to make sure that you have something that is easy on your body all day. When you fish as much as I do, the heavier stuff it makes you have to go to the doctor way too many times. So lighter is better in my opinion. So I always do it. Sometimes I do. Most of the time I do a 2000 series reel. This time I have a 1000 series reel. But I'm just saying you need a spinning combo. And on one spinning combo, because I'll get into why you gotta have a second one. On one spinning combo, I typically have, like on this one, I'll probably have 8 or 6 pound line on this one, okay? Even if I'm fishing on the river, I'll be honest with you, even if I'm fishing on the river, if I'm fishing literally anywhere, I'll have 8 or 6 pound line on one combo, guaranteed. Every time I hit the water, I'm gonna have 6 or 8 pound test on it. And I'm gonna be throwing a drop shot, maybe a Ned rig, you know, things like that. Maybe even skipping a Senko, honestly. I don't care. I'm going to have 6 or 8 pound line. I'm going to use my drag, and that's what I'm going to do. Every time from the co-angler to the back of the boat, if you don't have a 6 pound, 8 pound line, rod and reel combination on, you are asking for trouble. I'm just putting it out there, because 9 times out of 10, guys, you're not going to be able to get out there and throw 15 pound, 17 pound tests and be throwing a jig all day. You're not going to be able to do that. It's not going to work. Your boater might be doing it, and he might be lighting them up. But if you're trying to catch a single fish behind a guy that's lighting them up on a jig all day, you better have a drop shot and some kind of wacky rig, Ned rig, something shaky hitty, something on a lighter line, and give yourself a decent fighting chance, man. So rod and reel number 1, gotta have a light line, spinning pole. Now, we're gonna keep along that same line. Bam. Number 2, a spinning pole. So that didn't change much. All right, you gotta have a second spinning pole. In my opinion, as from the Coangler from the back of the boat, I do recommend 2 spinning poles. There are times, honestly, when I recommend 3 spinning poles. 3 spinning poles and 1 bait caster, and that's it. 3 spinning poles, 1 bait caster. And the reason why, I'll go ahead and get right into it. The reason why is because of line size and the technique that you want to use. So the main reason why you want to do that, like I said, guys, is line size. So in this one, I have the same thing. I have a Senko, like I mentioned that in the other one. I have a Senko tied on, Nico style Senko. The reason why I recommend this, because on this one, I actually have either 10 or 12. Most of the time lately, I've been running 12-pound line. So if I do get into an area where there's docks with a bunch of, junk underneath of there, or if we're in a little bit maybe thicker or heavier grass, I still want to run with the lighter setup, but I want to be able to have, ability to be able to do it this way. I run it like this. I run like 12-pound line, 2000 series reel. Actually, this is it's a 1000 series reel. I love to keep my stuff light, man, and it's worked fine for me. So whatever you want to do, that's what you do. Some people do 2000, some people do 3000. I really like this 1000. But another 1000 series reel. This is a 7-1, same thing. This is a medium action, but this one's a lot beefier than that other one. This is a beefier. The way I set it up is a lot beefier than I set up that other one. So this one I run 12-pound line on. The other one I may have 8-pound test on. So 2 spinning poles, 2 different line sizes. And like I said, a lot of times, so let's say I skip my Senko up underneath somewhere. It somehow, even though I got it rigged with the weed guard and everything, somehow it end up stuck on the dock piling. But this is a good looking dock. The guy's catching fish on it, bam, 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 everything's going great. I probably will have a drop shot on the other one. So if I skip a Senko, goes under, looks good, cast goes great, falls down, I get bit, but somehow end up getting caught. Something happens on my 12-pound, bam, I end up missing out on the fish. I reach for my other one. I can't afford to retie this. By that time, the dude's gonna be past that dock. I'll put this to the side, break it off, pull it to the side, grab the other one, skip my Ned rig under there, and a lot of times I can end up following it up and getting me a fish that way. But the reason why I recommend 2, like I said, you can get away with 1. You're just gonna have to be really quick with your retying and stuff like that. But you can get away with 1. I always recommend 2 because you never know. The water's a little bit dirty. I can get away with a few more things. I'll go ahead and break out the 12-pound one. Make sure I can fight them, make sure I don't lose any fish. Because when you get to that 6 or 8 pound line, it gets really interesting when you try and land some fish on 6 or 8 pound line. If they dig, if you're around any kind of sharp objects at all, like on James River or something, it can get really interesting when you try to land a fish on some really light line. So I always have another one with that. But with that being said, again, I try to do 2 spinning rods always on deck, non-stop, every time. To keep the show rolling, my last option for you, this is if you only want to bring 3. 2 spinning rods, 1 bait caster. Now, this one in particular, I have a jerk bait tied on. That's good for a season, but it ain't gonna, obviously ain't gonna keep going. I recommend a 7-foot medium heavy. If you got to bring 1 last pole, 7-foot medium heavy. And the main reason for that is because 7-foot medium heavy, you can throw a jig, you can throw a chatterbait, you could even throw a lighter or probably regular size buzz bait, spinner bait. You can throw pretty much anything on a 7-foot medium heavy, right? Texas rig, all of those baits are going to be key when it comes to some tournaments. Like I said, with my tournament that I actually ended up winning on Kerr Lake, I was throwing a spinner bait all day. Most co-anglers, when you hear them talk at the end of the day, they say, drop shot, Ned rig, whatever the case may be. Some of them say buzz bait, or frog all day. But in my case, it was a spinner bait all day. A lot of times, though, for consistency, though, they do have where you guys are throwing a little bit more finessey kind of things. There are days when you get to hammer them with a spinner bait, and on those days, usually you're going to really enjoy those days, and you might come back with a dub those days. If you're in an area where you can get on the bigger fish and throw those bigger baits, it's good. But if you want to consistently catch fish, consistently cash checks, you got to be good with that wacky rig, Ned rig, drop shot kind of stuff. Shaky hit. Shaky hit is a key one as well. Shaky is a key one for co-anglers. You got to be really good with those things. So my tip for you, side note, my tip for you as a co-angler, before you go jumping into every tournament in America, make sure that you can throw a shaky head, a wacky rig, or a Nico, a drop shot, and a Ned rig. Make sure you can throw them 4 baits. Before you go jumping into any tournaments or getting in the back of anybody's boat, make sure you can throw those 4 baits. Or make sure you can throw a giant swim bait, and either you're going to win it all or you're going to lose it all. But either have one technique that you're really, really good at and you just throw that because that's what you're really, really good at, or get yourself familiar with those finesse techniques. Once you put them all together, you'll see that that's when you're actually going to have some really, really good success. If you can pick up a Texas rig and catch them, and then pick up a shaky head and catch them, and then throw a drop shot and catch them, and then pull out a buzz bait to get that bigger bite at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, that's how you're going to start to see where you have some more consistent success when you become a better overall angler. But to start out, learn those 4: shaky head, drop shot, Ned rig, wacky rig, Nico. Put all those together and be Nico style wacky. And basically that's just adding a weight to your wacky rig. That's all. Super easy. But this one for me, Baitcaster, got to be medium heavy action. I recommend you got to have one of those in the boat. This is the Fate V3 series. Like I said, I got a jerking stick on there right now. We're in the late fall, about to be winter. It's freezing cold out here. A lot of the days, today's pretty nice. That's why I'm outside doing the video. But got to be able to have a Baitcaster in hand. Now that would be my 3. That would be my 3. The only other thing I recommend is another Baitcaster. Same thing as I recommend with the spinning poles. This one right here that I just showed you with the jerk bait on, I got 10-pound line on. This one right here, I got 15-pound. This is a 7-1. This is a medium heavy, moderate action. So I throw, you know, a bunch of different stuff on here. Right now I got a spinner bait, Mega Custom Tackle spinner bait on there right now. This was the bait actually that I ended up winning my tournament on, a similar style to this. Actually, it might be the same one, different trailer though. But this is you gotta have, I think if you gotta bring 4, if you're gonna bring 4, bring one that has like 15, 17 pounds, a little bit beefier, depending on where you're going. If you need to throw a jig, if you need to throw a spinner bait, you're throwing a Texas rig, your cover's a little bit interesting, you're throwing a chatter bait, things like that. You want something that gives you a little bit more line on it. I recommend sometimes throwing a chatter bait, throwing like 12-pound line, and then just making sure you work with your drag, your reel, and your rod work together. Make sure you got a really good rod for what you're doing. And take your time and you can get these fish in. But that's what I recommend for this. If you got to bring 4, do it that way. Now, I meant to say 4 and I meant to say this one actually, because this is a 7.3 medium heavy. I meant to say this one to keep it all in the same lineup. Like these 4, right? This is what I was trying to get at. This is what my big thing was, trying to get these 4. But I saw the spinner bait and I got sidetracked, so I just went straight for the spinner bait. But 4, if you got to bring 4, this is the 4 I would bring. 2 Baitcasters, 2 different size lines on each, and I would then bring a backup reel that had like braid line or a different pound test line altogether. Maybe 2 backup reels, one with braid, like 60-pound braid, 50-pound braid, and then one with you know, like 20-pound. Let's say you just keep breaking off on 15 every time you set the hook. You might need something else. So I bring another reel already reeled up with 17-pound and another reel already reeled up with braid, and 2 Baitcasters. Boom, you're done. 2 spinning reels, 2 spinning rod and reel combos, and then I also bring a backup spinning reel that has a different pound test altogether. So I'll have 12, 8, and then I'll have 10, right? And that way I'm covering all the spectrums. If there's ever a tournament you get in where the line size feels to be playing a role, you're not getting as many bites, the boater's smoking you, but y'all are throwing the exact same thing, give yourself a chance. So maybe it's the line size, maybe it's action, maybe it's a retrieve. Pay attention to these things, but it'll give you another thing to try. So if I say 4, it's 4 you bring, 4 like this. But if you got to bring 1 extra one, obviously, you know, whatever it is, your favorite technique, your favorite deal, what you like to throw. Sometimes, you know, if you're just not getting bit on anything else that you're throwing, you got to just go with something that you like and just hope for the best, man. You're not getting bit anyway. You might as well make it fun and catch them the way you like to catch them, or just don't catch them. I mean, it is what it is. Now, the last thing I mentioned was the tip for you guys. Now, it's kind of an interesting theory, but it's not going to be that new. I'm pretty sure people do it all the time. I actually got in the boat with several pros that do it like this to a certain extent. So if there's a bait that you're catching them on, you've been practicing, you've been talking, you're feeling good about what you're going to the river going or to the lake or going. There's what I'm suggesting to you now is that there comes a time sometimes when you know that's the deal, right? That's the deal. So what I'm going to do is just bring different variations of that deal. So for example, we'll do like a Texas rig, okay? I know a Texas rig has been catching them. There are some times when I've seen where I get in the boat with some guys and they bring a Texas rig, right? They bring an 1/8 ounce weight. They bring a rod and reel combo already reeled up like this. 1/8 ounce weight, 1/4 ounce weight, 1/2 ounce weight, 5/16 ounce weight, 4 different colors of trawls or worms or whatever the case may be, and they just have a whole lineup of Texas rigs, and then like 1 drop shot, and that's it. That's what they show up to the river. That's what they're throwing. That's what they're going to do for the day. Same principle, let's say for chatterbait. If you're a chatterbait fisherman, you love chatterbaits, you want to start fishing tournaments, chatterbait's your deal. Bring a 1/2 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 3/8, different colors, and maybe different brands. Honestly, I'm throwing out suggestions out here. Different colors, different brands, 4 rods, 4 different chatterbaits, 4 different colors, 4 different weight sizes. Throw them until you find out which one they biting. If you find out they're biting like an orangish kind of color one, you got 1 extra pole, which is your spinning rod. You can start to key in on that, and then you just find out. Like basically, you use those to search and find out what color the fish want, and then just go to work on it. I do that strategy. I do the color strategy every tournament I get to, where I throw different colors. I throw like 5 different colors. I bring 5 poles, 6 poles. Normally I bring 6 poles. Throw all the colors on. Every different pole I have, I throw a different color bait on. And that way, when I switch through all of them in the morning, I find out what color they're hitting. When I find that out, then I just hammer down on that color until it changes, and then I switch up, that type of thing. But the color strategy I already do. This one though, just like I said, just taking a confidence bait, you're going to James River, 4 different color chatterbaits, find out which one they're hitting, hammer them. That's it. Keep it that simple. Sometimes fishing is just that simple. You're going to a place that they love to eat the Ned rig. You know they love the Ned rig. Pick different color Ned rigs, exposed hook, Texas rig hooked, different color heads, tie on 5 Ned rigs, different pound test on each pole, throw the Ned rig. That's it. Show up to the river, 5 poles, same bait, throw the Ned rig. Seems kind of silly, but it doesn't, because you think about it. If you're in the boat with a boater who's fishing really fast, he's got the trolling motor on 10, he's hitting. You don't have time to retie every Ned rig. You don't have time to tie on 8-pound, 10-pound, 12-pound line. You don't got time to do all that. You're in the back of someone else's boat. If they're flying down, you need to just grab. Here's my 8-pound test. No bites. All right, man. Let me go down to 6. No bites. Dang, what's going on? I don't understand. But obviously, remember, you just did it. You had 2 different colors. Now you pick up a green pumpkin one, a little bit heavier size, skip it up under there. Boom, got bit. Bam, now you know. All right, so they're hitting this green pumpkin one. Look, they like the faster fall with the heavier weight. Hammer them, okay, until you figure out something else. Late in the day, it changes to where they want to start eating white or something. So you got to switch up. I mean, you switch up. You cut up a little Senko, cut it in half, put that on the other one, skip it with the heavier weight. Maybe the heavier weight, the pressure got to them. They want you to downsize a little bit. Go back down to the little weight, but you got it all rigged up. Bam, you can figure out. Basically, you could do your whole strategy by just putting 1 bait on and going to work with that 1 bait across different poles. You're obviously going to bring more tackle. That's not the issue. We all know how to bring tackle. I'm just giving you some tips that a little strategy that you may or may not want to try. 5 buzz baits. You know what I'm saying? Different. That one I don't really recommend. It's more so because it's on top. So it's kind of, they're going to be where they're going to be at on top. But when it comes to stuff that's got to hit the bottom, that type of thing, those kind of baits, baits that you might work differently, that kind of thing. Chatterbait, you can hop it down, you can let it sink. I mean, different things. Spinner bait, bring a couple different spinner bait colors, that kind of thing. On those kind of baits, this is kind of where I'm recommending the strategy at. But it's all up to you. At the end of the day, you do what works best for you on your body of water. Hope I wasn't talking too fast, trying to get this video done. Got to get back inside, get some more work done. Got some work to do on my kitchen sink. So very exciting news for that. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've become an electrician. Thanks to my buddy. I want to shout out my buddy. He's been helping me out with this a lot. You know who you are. I don't know if he wants me to say his name in video, so I don't know. But my buddy's been helping me a lot, man. He's been helping me with a lot of stuff. So lately, I've become an electrician. Thanks to him, I've been installing ceiling lights. I've been doing all kinds of stuff out here. I've worked on my car, so I've become a mechanic. He helped me with that too, doing my little mechanic thing, that and watching YouTube. And now I got to learn how to become a plumber. So we're going to see how we can figure this out, guys. But I wanted to come to you guys with another video. Be sure to check it out. Check out my other videos too. And of course, I got more stuff coming. For upcoming season, I am going to do kind of a road to series. I saw some guy do this before. I'm going to try to do a similar thing. A road to the regional, road to the All-American, road to Bassmaster. Like, I'm going to do a road to something coming up for this series for tournaments. I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to do it for you guys and film a little bit of what I'm doing. Not a bunch, just a little bit of what I'm doing. Give you guys some recaps, things like that. But so you guys can follow along with me on my journey. I had a really good year this year. Looking forward to even better year next year. Got new members, new team members coming along with me. I'm very excited about this. So I'm going to keep this thing rolling and keep you guys involved with me. So as always, I appreciate you tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace, peace.